stops the thoughts of you from playing on rewind. She relaxes my mind, my body, and soul. After I smoke that blunt, I can feel her take control.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, man.
The man right here. How are you, friend?
I'm doing real good today, man. Just maintaining, Sunday, so I'm cleaning up the house, getting the windows open. You know how moms used to do back in the day.
I know that's right. I had to, I asked him to come on. I asked him many times, asked her to come on. Because I wanted to let everybody know who the man behind the genetics that I have in my garden, the autoflowers and the photo femmes. Yes, he has also made his own strains. He is an avid roller skater with his wife, and you guys can check him out on this page. All right, he's a wealth of knowledge. I had the pleasure of meeting him, and he's a part of the Frostfurrow Genetics team, let alone this podcast. This is Mr. Astro Bishop. I mean, let me get we're here. We got him. We got him.
It's a pleasure to be here, Tom. Like I said, we've been in the talks for a nice little while now. You know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to build up a little bit of work before I had the confidence of coming on talking to people. I'm the type of person, I don't really like talking to people unless I got something to show for it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what was crazy? When I first met you and started talking to you, I know you were talking to me about what you were doing, but since I met so many falsehoods in this community, I didn't really take you that seriously, but you are the absolute truth.
Oh, yeah. At that time frame, I was still, working out a lot of kinks and figuring out a lot of things for myself. A lot of my projects were still just, brainstorm. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm happy you are.
I remember the first time we met, you sent me a little care pack of some seeds or some beans or whatever, and I said, yo, I appreciate this. As soon as I got something, I'm sending it right back to you. And it took a little while.
It
took a little while.
But that's why I was like, I didn't know, but you came through and sent me all type of good stuff. All type of good stuff. The Bishop Photo Femme. You gotta tell me about some of these, not just the names, the strains, and why you chose certain what to breed with what to make your customized strains. The Bishop Photo Femme. Tell me how that came up. Shout out Clay. Shout out GW Calhoun. Tell me how that came along, because that's it's huge in my garden.
All right. So I started growing about 2020-ish, maybe about 2021-ish. And at the time I was living in North Carolina. Me and my brother were roommates. Shout out to the Risky Brothers Podcast. And I just had made like a little makeshift setup under my TV, you know what I'm saying? I had just started watching some growing videos.
Yeah.
It wasn't even legal to grow in Carolina at the time, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of figuring it out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of failed projects. A lot of my plants didn't even get, bro. A lot of my plants didn't even get past the first couple weeks of vegetation, you know what I'm saying? But
I know.
Then I moved back to Virginia up in about 2022, and during the 2021 year is where Virginia got its legalization. You know what I'm saying? So in July of 2021, we got legalized for recreational use, recreational possession, as well as medical purchase.
Sweet Lord. Okay, go ahead.
So here in Virginia, you can buy medically as long as you have the license, the cannabis card, and all those different things. You can freely cultivate with or without a license up to 4 plants. And you can own pretty much as you want inside your home. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. As far as outside of your home, it's treated more of like a controlled substance, alcohol. It has to be in your trunk. Make sure you don't have nothing in, you know what I'm saying? What you're driving. You that. So when I started really stepping into really cultivating, I started learning about the genetics and what parts of the world they come from. You know what I'm saying? The origins of the famous hybrids, the gelato, the gorilla glue, the sour, and also started learning about how do these hybrids impact on the environment. The the number one thing that I learned first was, although here on the East Coast, I'm from Virginia, you from New York, everybody loves some diesel. Everybody loves some sour.
I know that's right.
But if you listen to the people who mostly then grew the sour, they tell you, yeah, that's hard to grow. It's really hard. Like, it's a finicky plant. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I started really wanting to get into, when I started studying about different cultures and they've been cultivating the exact same strand for hundreds of years and thousands of years. That strand, no matter what time of the year, grows there perfectly.
Insane.
That became my mission. The first few plants I grew outside just wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just wasn't it. So then I had to realize, all right, I have to cultivate something that's made for Virginia, something that's made for these not so great climates. We not like Florida. They hot almost year round. They hot almost year round. Where we come from, it get cold fast. It's humid a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of snow, man. It's a lot of cold.
We have a great vegetative season, April up till about July. We have a great vegetative season.
Oh, that's right.
We have a great flowering season.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create something that was going to be perfect for the flowering season here on that East Coast, that North Atlantic East Coast.
These strains are bred for this climate. East Coast.
For this climate.
Those in there?
All those in there.
So when you said you had to figure out, when you first had some trials and errors, and you were like, your first plants, you just said weren't it for you, did you already know about breeding at that moment? How did you come across?
Yeah, I pretty much already knew about, like, any person who has ever found any bag seeds. If you've ever found males and females, then you pretty much already know a little, about breeding. You may not know the specifics. You may not know how to get in depth.
Yeah.
But you know how to put this on that, and it's going to give you some seeds.
That's right.
Right? Every grower says, hey, if you find any males, get them out of there as fast as you can. Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. But on average, that's the person that really doesn't know the ins and outs. When I first got started growing, I didn't know the ins and outs.
Right.
I knew if I put this on that, you was gonna make a new strand. That's pretty much all I knew. You know what I'm saying? Then I started getting into what places of the world is similar to my place in the world, and what kind of strands grow in those places. So that's when I really started getting into the intricacies of breeding.
Okay. So you took it just a little step further. Now, you work with a lot of autoflowers, man. What have you found, like, in autoflowers? I like rapeseeds, but I don't mind the auto. I don't mind the fem. I like the hunt. You know what I'm saying? I like the hunt. I'll go absolutely anything. Autos really give back a really fast kickback. That's why and yours are in my 10. As again, if you guys are interested in these seeds, hit Bishop up if you want. Part of the Phosphoro Genetics team. Astro Bishop, follow him at least. Do you prefer autos? Like, see, why did you choose autoflower seeds? And was this on purpose, or?
All right, the autos, for me, I chose autos because growing cannabis, the one skill I've had to perfect is patience. Patience.
I know that's right.
I had to perfect patience to, like, the utmost. I'm a very impatient person because my brain looks, right now I'm at a point in life where my brain looks into the future before the future is even close.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You project.
So I chose autos for the quick turnaround. You could be cutting plants down every 2 or 3 months, depending on the cultivar, you know what I'm saying? Depending on the pot size. You can be cutting plants down in a third of the time that it takes the most photoperiodic.
Oh my God, I need it at the moment. We've been in dispensaries.
At the same time, I do see the benefits of photoperiodics. Photoperiodics will veg throughout that entire, vegging season, and then give you bigger plants. You know what I'm saying? So while there is pros and cons to both, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you bring the best of both of those together, you have something even better. So in my experience, autoflowers, yes, they are great for quick turnarounds. Some of them don't get that big depending on the cultivar. You know what I'm saying? Depending on if you're growing them outside, inside, pot size. It's just a lot of factors to autoflowers. But with photoperiodics, it pretty much just goes into how much time you put into the plant. You get what I'm saying? So for me, there's no better or worse. It all depends on what you have got going on in your setup. You know what I'm saying? So like, you may not have a place where you can grow outside at all, and you may not have a big tent in your home.
Right.
Why would you grow photoperiodic plants that take 4 or 5 months on average?
Southern Genetics, shout out.
Probably outgrow your tent.
Girls, shout out, y'all. We're listening, my friend. Another bearded grower, shout out. You're right. Continue. I'm sorry. I'm just showing everybody love. They're listening. We are.
You good. You good. But if you are a person who don't got that much, space, why are you growing photoperiods? They're gonna get big and probably overtake your space. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You can grow those in smaller spaces. You can be cutting plants down every couple of months, every 3 months or so, and still get those turnarounds in a small space. Now, if you're a person with a big space, why are you growing tiny plants?
Right. Yeah.
If you have big space, you can put the time in to cultivate bigger turnarounds. That way you don't have to plant 12 plants at a time,
right.
8 plants, 5, 6 plants at a time. You can plant 4 plants, get nice turnarounds. It may take you a little bit more time, but those bigger turnarounds
it's worth it.
Is worth it.
Yeah. So you're telling me right now, those autoflowers, the lemon cherry gelatos, not the Bishop, those when you think those will be ready? They're like seedlings right now.
All right, if you planted those in about the middle of December-ish, right?
It's probably documented. I don't want to say yes or no. Probably. If you say that, you've seen it. Yeah,
I've been keeping track of you. I've been keeping track of your calendar. I'll say probably about middle of December-ish. They'll be ready to cut down probably like going into the end of February.
Shut up, Panda. Yeah.
You'll definitely be looking at those turnarounds about end of February, early-ish March, depending on how long you let them push. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not looking to cut down anything. You sent me a lot of cherry strains. What do you like about the gelato? What do you like about the gelato, man? First, wait. What is the Bishop OG crossed with?
All right, so Bishop OG was my very first experiment. Like most people's, created those hybrids back in the day. They found a bag seed, and that bag seed turned into the gold that we all appreciate today.
I have grown a wonderful plant off a bag seed. I ain't gonna lie.
I've grown some amazing things off of bag seed.
I did it.
But around the time cannabis got legal out here, we had a flood of growers, cultivars, strands everywhere. I'm talking about like cheap prices. You know what I'm saying? Some real deal guys was having some really good quality things. So one of my partners, he ran into somebody who was selling Apple Jack, and got about a nice good size off of him. And Apple Jack is a cross between Jack Hara and White Widow. So
White Widow.
So he got a nice good sack off of him, and was finding seeds all through it. And he gave me some seeds, handed seeds out to other friends, and these was some of those first strains this was the very first strain what I knew what I was growing. Every other bag seed before it was just, I found it somewhere, I don't remember what it came out of, but I'm growing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This was the very first strain where I knew what I was growing. So I started researching the strain. How do you take care of what is it best grow in? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And when it got to flowering, it had a terpene profile that I liked, but it really wasn't what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like I come from a place where everybody likes that diesel. Everybody like that stank, that funk. You know what I'm saying? This had like a really, when it started flowering, it was covered in frost, like so much, and it was sweet. It smelled really sweet, gassy, but more on the sweet side.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a boy, and then when I found that boy, I had got some seeds from Growers Choice Genetics. I had got the Darth Vader OG, and that became my mother, and Applejacks was my father. So found a bag seed
OG?
Darth Vader OG that I got from Growers Choice Genetics.
Okay.
Vader, it's a pretty mystery hybrid. It's an indica dominant.
Oh yeah.
But it's supposedly a mystery hybrid. No one's really exactly sure how Darth Vader came about. Some people think it's a hybrid of various Afghani phenotypes. Some people feel like it's a hybrid of a couple of different OGs. You know what I'm saying? No one's really too sure. But around the time I got it, I was looking for something 100% indica to cross a dominating sativa hybrid with. You know what I'm saying? I felt like if I got
dominant sativa.
Yeah, Applejack is a sativa dominating hybrid.
Hold on.
And I wanted to, I felt like putting these two, if I take something that could stand the hot and something that could stand the cold and I put them together, it was going to be perfect here. You know what I'm saying?
Another bearded grower. Hold on. We have to, just to keep everybody in the loop. Another bearded grower said, "My first year, I only veg plants to learn their growing structure and how they respond to topping." See, when we're going to get to your topping technique, continue. I just wanted to shout him out, and clandestine shout out to you. Have a great day too.
But yeah, I put together. I found a male in the Applejack, and took my female Darth Vader and pollinated them. And from there, I got the F1 variety of the Bishop OG. You know what I'm saying? And I just started sorting through them. You know, seeing how they grew. You know, first couple projects I did with them, I did some solo cup grows. I'm talking about I put their whole life through a solo cup.
Oh, wow.
They very strong, very, you know what I'm saying? Almost like the structure of them to me was reminiscent of like a gorilla glue. They had those really stocky stems, really golf ball round, you know, nugs on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only thing is just that a lot of my phenos came out with that sativa cone Christmas shape. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do know that shape.
In the F1 variety, I found that a lot of them responded very well to topping. Like topping instantly turned that shape from this into that indica bush, like instantly. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And very strong. It was very, very strong. I had a plant this past summer. I was growing out in June, early June. And June is when we start getting a lot of our rain weather going into the summertime. Plant was just getting drenched, getting done with the rain. And it was holding. It was holding. No powdery mildew, no nothing. It was holding. And man, I thought I had struck gold. And then a little bit going into July, the rain started catching up to it and the humidity started catching up to it. And I say, back to the drawing board.
Damn. You put a lot of time and effort into these seeds. You went all the way into an F2 of the Bishop?
Yeah. Right now we're in F2 variety. And that was an actual funny story we'll probably get into later. But the F2 variety came out feminized because with my Bishop, I just gave a lot of my seeds out mostly to my family members who grow. You know what I'm saying? People who share the name. You know, the brand is our name, it's our family, you know what I'm saying? So I was down like my last handful of seeds when I did the last grow back in June, you know what I'm saying? I only had 3 or 4 or 5 seeds left. Every last one of them was girls.
Damn.
Every last one was a girl. I had no boys left. So I took my best 2 girls and I cloned them, I feminized one, and now we have the F2 variety.
Oh, I cannot wait to actually go through this thing, see how big it gets. This is a lot of people are saying, well, I had a thought, but it just left my mind. When you use the auto, so the lemon cherry gelato auto is crossed with. That's what I was getting at too. I just had it just went.
All right. So the auto varieties that I've just put out, shout out to Fast Buds. You know, I got to give lot of thanks to Fast Buzz right now. Fast Buzz, they really helped me get on my journey too.
Shout out,
like for
Fast
real.
Buzz.
Every day, Sebastian Good. Whether you guys out there know or not, you guys helped me out a lot. So I started dabbling with Fast Buzz last year, and
Yeah.
they sent me a banana purple punch seed for free. I grew that out. I loved it. First time I actually tasted the fruit on a strand that had the name of it. You know, I grew up people telling you, "Oh, this tangerine, this you don't taste no tangerine.
I know that.
This orange, this
Right.
oh, this is Skittles, this is ice cream. This you don't taste."
Don't even smell like the actual item that you have in the name. Why do
Right,
that?
You don't, and you ain't tasting none of that. You know what I'm saying? All you tasted was general the gas taste, the burning
Absolutely.
flour. And the gas
That's
taste.
Right.
Fast Buzz was the first time I tasted what that name said.
Powerful. That's
That
powerful.
was the first time I tasted what that name said. I didn't expect to taste any bananas, so I'm just enjoying.
Wow.
You know, I'm just
God.
watching
That
TV
tastes like banana.
and I'm puffing and I hit that. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, that.
Oh, that's got to be delicious, man.
It was. So I started messing with Fast, but then I realized, hey, whatever they say it is what it is. 'Cause I've tasted it. So I wasn't really even into the breeding with the auto flowers like that. I did a small little project with that banana purple punch. My uncle went on vacation and brought back some seeds from Jamaica, and I took one of those males and crossed that onto the banana purple punch. So I got a few phenos left over of that little cross project. It's a faster. I call it planting.
Plant. Those Jamaican strains, those tropical strains, those things grow, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. They do. But after that, I grew those out. So I grew out the original Jamaicans, and then I compared those when I grew out the cross that I did with the Fast Plus. This is my very first time doing the whole photo to auto flower cross thing. This is my very first time. The original Jamaicans showed me sex in like 30 days, 20-ish, 30 days in a flower. You know what I'm saying? The cross with the auto showed me sex in about 10, 15 days.
Jesus. Gee,
About 15 days. By day 20, 25, before day 30 of flowering, I was fully looking at pre-flowers and frost almost coating the entire plant.
Oh my God. What are you looking?
When I seen that, that's when I knew. I've been doing this all wrong. I've been doing this all wrong.
Hold on, my friend. I must bring this up. Clandestine said, I feel like no one should be releasing anything F1. Should be F2 or F3 acts, but just my thoughts. What do you think about that? I don't know. I'm a podcast. I just grow weed, you know?
I would say, Mr. Clint, if you are a commercial seller, probably you should probably not release anything until about F3 or F4 variety for that uniformity, so that you know that whoever is cultivating your genetics is going to pretty much get the same kind of plants every which go around. But if you are a person looking for people to, you know, go on along your entire journey, first of all, you know how much time it takes to get to an F3 variety?
Homegrown chats, what's up?
If you don't put nothing out till all your strands are F3 testers, you're supposed to be putting out testers. If you don't put nothing out till everything's about F3, you'll be breeding for about 3 or 4 years before anyone sees it. 2 years.
Wow.
Like if you're just working with just one strand, you could probably get that out in about 2 years as an F3 variety. You know what I'm saying? About 2 years, but that's still 2 years before anybody see any work.
Yeah, that's kind of long. That's kind of, I don't know how. I couldn't wait that long. That's too.
It is a process, but at the same time, I see plenty of other people put out varieties at F1, F2.
Right.
I've seen I've seen plenty of people do it.
Fire.
There's a guy who made the
Frost Road.
there's a guy who made the
Sorry.
there's a guy who put out there's a guy who put out the Chill Out OG. I can't remember his name. YouTube channel guy. The Chill Out OG.
The what?
Chill Out OG. He made Chill Out OG. Can't remember his name, but he's a pretty popular YouTuber guy. He's been putting out his seeds at every generation so that people who along with him are experiencing along with him. You get what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's how I am. You know what I'm saying? When Sour Diesel first came out, didn't nobody get no F3 Sour Diesel? You got an F1.
Word. So when F1s are not. I wrote some nice F1 stuff. It's
like I'm saying when anyone's favorite genetic came out in the 90s or in the 2000s or those, you got an F1 first.
Absolutely.
And that's what made you fall in love with that strand. And then they took that variety and kept working with that particular one up until, everyone worked like that. But it's all about, I would say he's right and, wrong, but depending on the situation of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what you are doing. I'm not necessarily a commercial seller. So
Kid Frost said you find more varieties in F1.
You find more varieties in F1s. Now, here's the thing with that. If you are a commercial seller, you don't really want variety. If you are selling your beans commercially, you want all of your genetics to come out. You want every plant to hit 4 feet. You want every plant to hit 500 grams. So you've been working with your genetics to a point that you need them to be uniform. But when you working with F1s, or if you selling, if you a breeder's breeder, you probably giving beans out to other breeders. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they don't want to see, right. I mean, yeah, they would love some F3s. They would love whatever you give them. But they want to see variety amongst the phenotypes because they want to pheno hunt. They want to find something different amongst the bunch.
I like
you get what I'm saying? Hunt. So if I put bishops out all at F4, there ain't gonna be much of a surprise if you grow them all out.
It'll be just the same.
It'll be just, you may find that one, but the chance of it slims down the more you start isolating genetics.
That's absolutely fascinating. So in the beginning stages, it's when you get all the variety, the different smells, the different sizes, the different growths.
And in F1 variety, whatever two, like, for example, with my bishop, we're going to just keep using bishop as the example.
For sure.
With the F1 variety of bishop, there were some that grew like a sativa. There was some that stayed shorter like an indica. There was some that had that cone shape. There was some that, pulled a natural bush on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There was some that when it flowered out, they had more of a diesel smell. There was some that had more of an earthy smell. There was a couple that had more of that sweet smell that came from the apple jack. You understand what I'm saying?
Don't you like that? Don't you want the variety? You don't.
That's like what you want. That's what you. Now, it all depends on the person. Some people don't want variety. They want to get the best of the best. And that's what they get their beans for. They're growing just to grow, put it down, and jar it up.
My niece is in the building.
They want to make sure they just want to make sure you isolating the best of the best in order to make sure you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope he.
But it all depends on it all depends on the person. Like he said, he would never put out seeds at F1 or F2. It all depends on what you're putting them out for. If you put them out solely for commercial sale, you just want people to. Then yeah, you're right. You need uniformity. Like if I put out the bishop commercially, it'll probably be an F4 variety.
Everybody says shit. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. We are listening to. We need Bishop. The industry, the cannabis community needs the Bishop. He's the Bishop. From Mr. Frost said, and I'm gonna go to clandestine. He said, from a creative aspect, yes, you want a variety in the F1 to choose or to pick from to create your next cultivar. That's powerful.
Because what a lot of people don't even understand. What a lot of people don't even really understand is that amongst F1 variety, you can actually even create separate strands amongst simply the F1 variety. You get
wow.
what I'm saying?
I absolutely.
Like boom. If in my F1 variety, I found some that were more cone shaped, had more of that sativa grow style, and I found some that would have more of an indica grow style. I literally could have labeled them two different names and said this one's a sativa dominant and this one's a indica dominant, but they're both the exact same parented strands. You get what I'm saying? They both come from the exact same They both came from the exact same parentage, but because the variety is so vast amongst F1s, you're getting literally in F1, everything is 50-50 of what it was. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like if we take humans. If you take a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman, the children will come out. The children will come out light. Some might come out darker than others.
That's right.
Some might come out lighter than others. Some might come out with, softer hair. Some might come out with curlier. Some will have hard hair. Some will have curlier hair. But if you take the same type of person and keep having kids with someone who looks like them, soft hair, curly hair, all the kids will constantly keep coming out. Soft hair, curly hair. You get what I'm saying? Medium complexion. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Genetics work the exact same way.
I don't know why. See, I did music and stuff. And again, let's go back. Let's touch base into your like educational history, Mr. Bishop. You went to school for something entirely different, and now you're on a totally different path. What was that?
All right. So I went to I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. For anyone who doesn't know, if you're unfamiliar with Norfolk, it's in the 757 region. Close to Virginia Beach. I know most people who are not from Virginia, they know about Virginia Beach. You know what I'm saying? They may not know Norfolk, but they know about Hampton and Virginia Beach. You might know about Richmond, although Richmond is in the 804 area. If you don't know about Virginia, those are some places to give you, you know what I'm saying, where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? More closer to the Virginia Beach area. Been to Virginia. But I went to... All my schools were pretty much about a 10-minute walk from 5 or 10-minute walk from each other. I grew up in a neighborhood called Tidewater Gardens, but the population called it Tidewater Park. You know what I'm saying? I went to Tidewater Park Elementary. I went to Ruffner Middle School, which was right across the street from that.
Then I went to like where I am. It's all country.
It's a mix. Yeah, it's a mix. It's a mix. It matters where I live at. Yes, it is the South. It is like we're in the bottom of Virginia, but I live in the city part of the country.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Where I live at, it's a lot of buildings. There's a lot of things to see. There's a lot of things, but you ain't too far away from the plantation. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You ain't too far away from the plantation. It's a lot of, even in my area, one of our neighboring cities, Chesapeake, is way more southern than Norfolk. There's a lot of areas in Chesapeake where don't go there when the lights go out. You get what I'm saying?
Clandestine, yes. Clandestine said, I went to EC3 in Richmond, VA. What does that say? I can't see it. It's like blended in. I can't move it. It was a blast.
EC3
and blast. What's EC3?
Oh, yeah, that's see. I'm not sure, but definitely sounds like a convention. Sounds like a convention.
You guys saw?
Me and my lady went to GalaxyCon back in 2020 in Richmond. So Richmond is the area where they do host a lot of. Richmond is the area where they do host a lot of conventions for the state because Richmond has a lot of stadiums and whatnot. Although over here we do get a lot of things too in the 757. For real, the 757 is the life of Virginia. This is the life. This is where we really at. This is where things is really happening.
Yeah, it's popping now.
You know what I'm saying? This is where people come to school and everything. But I went to middle school right across the street from the neighborhood I grew up. I went to elementary school right in my neighborhood. I went to high school 10 minutes from my neighborhood. We walked to school.
That's a good life.
And then I went to college 60 seconds from my high school. So I went to Norfolk State University back in 2013. I was a college dropout, sadly. I didn't get to finish, but life was life in that point in time, man. I was 19 years old. old, and at that point, I definitely could probably say I wasn't ready to be an adult. Just to keep that simple.
I
You
know
know what I'm
that's right.
saying?
It's
Just
the
to keep
same
that simple.
when
But
you go ahead.
I went to college on a music scholarship. I was in marching band. I was in marching band off from middle school, high school, community band, and was on the news and HBO and all these different types of
Holy
things
shit.
like that. So I knew I was going to pretty much do the drumline thing, in college. Um, I went to school for massive communications, which my specialty was going to be television and radio broadcasting. And
Nice.
but I never stayed long enough to actually get into my field of work, my field of study, rather. You know what I'm saying? Music, you can always study music while you're doing anything else,
Right.
But I wanted to, as
That's
a
exactly.
career, what I wanted to get a degree in was going to be some form of broadcasting.
Mm. What? So yeah, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off in any way, sir.
But from there, like I said, I went to school in 2013. I stayed all through 2013, and in 2014 is where I pretty much dropped out of school and started trying to focus on other actual, life things, other avenues, other ventures. Always worked in like the warehouse and different things like that. That's always been my job. That's always been.
Factories out here everywhere.
I did move to New York up in 2018, summer of 2018. Yes, I believe. I moved to New York. I was living in Brooklyn. Had a couple music programs out there that I was working with. Shout out to Brooklyn Union Gardens Academy, Approaching Storms. All my people's from Brooklyn United and all those different guys. I was really up in New York trying to get things going with my music and my percussion.
Bro, he said most of the major breeders are from your area, bro. I did not know that.
There does seem to be a big influx of breeders out here right now. I don't really know exactly what a lot of them got going on. I do see their work. You know what I'm saying? I do see some of their work. I do follow some of the things they got going on, but I don't really know a lot of these guys personally, rather to say, you know what I'm saying? But as far from that, Virginia does see, ever since, we got our legalization, Virginia does seem to be taking off right now. But, man.
What made you?
I went.
Go ahead.
I was just about to say, man. I went to college for broadcasting. I got into college through marching band and music, and from the time I was 19 up till the time I was about 23 or 24, I just traveled a lot up and down the East Coast.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of traveling.
How did you and Mr. Frostworld meet?
Well, actually, we met through UConn, brother. So we met through UConn, brother.
You saw his stuff on my page, on the Canna Brothers page?
Yes. I met. All right, so I met you about this past summer, right? About earlier this year.
Yeah.
You sent me a package of seeds, and then I started paying more attention to those posts about Frostworld. You know what I'm saying? And I thought the package of seeds that you sent me was from some of his collection.
They should have been. I apologize.
We ain't gonna get into that.
That's right. We're gonna continue. Go for it.
But I thought some of the beans you sent me was from his collection, but turned out, whether it was or wasn't, me and him got acquainted, and very knowledgeable brother right there. He's definitely ahead of the game right now. Judging just based off of what I'm seeing, I got some of my own in my collection right here. I haven't gotten to yet, but based off what I'm seeing from a few people who's been, cultivating his genetics, strong plants, very strong plants.
I'm telling you,
strong plants. And everybody who's watching right now, stay tuned, man. Astro Bishop and the Frost World is gonna have something real gold for you coming soon. Just stay tuned.
Collabing, you guys. It's gonna be absolutely crazy. Shout out to Frost World Ty and Kid Frost _247. Follow him. Though these two are the major breeders that this podcast works with, because honestly, we want to try to motivate as many people to be nice and collaborate with each other as possible. If we can meet more people like us, we would definitely bring them into the chat. But where do you see yourself going from through all this, Bishop, from the breeding, from the autoflowers and uh, growing the cannabis, like creating your own lines of strains? Are these going to be forever strains that you're going to keep in the vault?
Some of them, no. Some of them, no. Like these, like the collection you have right now, it's like get it while it's here. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of these, a lot of genetics that I probably have been creating right now have just been more so me learning and perfecting. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Just learning and perfecting things that people actually gravitate to. I will keep around because you got to get the people what they want. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But for the most part, like even right now, the autos I sent you are all the autos I sent you are all F1 variety. You know what I'm saying?
Says you look like D Wade, bro.
Hey, that's funny. That's funny.
They're all. Shout out to Skunk Grove. That's my guy. So those are all F1s. So they could come out. They could come out in any variety, different smells.
Any variety.
This is insane.
Different smell. You pretty much got a fruit salad growing in your tent right now.
I don't mind. You know what? A lot of the ones that I have mutated sleeves on them, they've been the biggest motherfuckers in my tents.
Yeah.
Don't ever sleep on
don't hey, people do not sleep on mutations. Do not. That mutation may turn out to be something groundbreaking. Groundbreaking. I mean, look at ILGM and the Freak Show. Look at Australia, the duckfoot landrace from Australia. Look at, you know what I'm saying? There's a few mutants out there that really changed the entire scope of cannabis. But like I was saying, those are some of these varieties I won't even be keeping around. Now, things that really pull gravity, of course, of course. But for the most part, I've just been learning and perfecting. Now, when I actually put out a list, hey, here's my menu of these are the Bishop strands. Like, these are going to be varieties that is going to blow people's mind. And I don't mean, and a lot of people say, oh man, these strains is good. Make sure you add these to your grow. Make sure you add these to your tent. These are great strands and they're pretty regular. I'm not going to trash on anyone's work, anyone's hard work or anything like that. But what I bring out is really going to be different. It's really going to be different.
Yeah, I'm so
different.
I'm so glad that you were who you were and you were actually doing what you said you were doing. I was excited. When you said autoflowers and stuff like that, like I haven't grown a lot of autoflowers, man, but they have. Some people grow autos, bro, and they get really tiny and they don't know what they've done. I've grown autoflowers like the strawberry strains. They're like as tall as me. I've really rarely ever grown an autoflower that isn't massive. I'm gonna just put that out.
That's all genetics. I've grown some autos that was really stunty.
Yeah.
So it's all about genetics and where you get them from. The very first autos I actually ever grew were not from Fast Buds. Fast Buds is actually the third brand I've actually ever gotten. You know what I'm saying? So
of auto. Or just
genetics. the very first autos I ever found were bag seeds.
They were autos?
Yes, literally autos in a bag seed. Yes. I don't remember where I got it from, who I got it from, or where. I just know that I found a lot of seeds. And when I first started growing, I was just growing bag seeds. I wasn't buying any seeds. I was growing seeds that I found.
Me too.
So the very first autos I found was coming out of this one batch that I had, you know what I'm saying? And when I realized that, okay, these seeds are all autoflowering, was an autoflowering plant, I started isolating the seeds so that I knew where, you know what I'm saying, where I can, and a couple of them were short, a couple of them were big, a couple of them were, you know what I'm saying? And then I had went to a little pop-up shop out here, and there was a guy selling genetics, and I got some genetics from a breeder, and those didn't turn out that well.
No.
They was all of them was like this big. I got a 3-pack. They all grew to maybe about this big
Fuck that.
at the biggest size, and they just weren't that good. And it did kind of discourage me a little bit from auto flowers, but
Yeah. I've had
I'm not
great
that
luck with them.
type of person. I'm not that type of person to just fully hang my head on something, especially when I see it can be done.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Not
So I just went on ahead and you know, start reviewing different seed banks, people who, you know, had really good reviews, people that wasn't scammers, because you know, I'm coming from a state where you go to jail for having this much weed. So, you know, trying to buy seeds and all that stuff, I was really skeptical.
Scary.
I was really skeptical to buying seeds, and you know,
over the mail and doing all that shit, man. I was still scared. When I travel, everyone's like, you can take joints on the plane now. It's just insane. Continue.
So one of my lady's friends, her husband was growing, and he introduced me to Growers Choice Genetics, Growers Choice Seeds. That was the very first seed bank I ever learned about, and that's where I got my Darth Vader from. And then start hearing about Mephisto. I was watching a lot of Mephisto videos. Then I went and got some Mephisto seeds. Yeah. And then, you know, I started hearing about Mephisto versus Fast Buzz. Then I was like, let me get some Fast Buzz. I went and got some Fast Buzz. The first thing I bought from Fast Buzz, I think, was their LSD-25, and they sent me the Banana Purple Punch as a freebie. And I grew out the Banana Purple Punch. I grew out the Banana Purple Punch first. That was the very first thing from Fast Buzz I ever grew. From Mephisto, I had got their From Mephisto, I had got their Sam Squanch OG. That was the very first thing I ever got from them, and they sent me a Mango Smile Phantasmal Express Cross. I grew up the Sam Squanches. Those was amazing. So shout out to Mephisto. But I ended up falling in love with Fast Buzz, man. I just ended up falling in love with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just
shout out to Fast Buzz. We're gonna put them all in the reels with them. Everything you're saying is gonna be like typed out, bro. But like these black strains that you were sending me in the what the fuck? I never seen weed grow black.
I stumbled upon those land races are Himalayan land races from the Malana Valley region and different areas around the Malana Valley and Wagen Valley areas. Right. Yeah. I stumbled upon those in my efforts of finding strains that are more suited to humidity. Why? Because we grow in a very humid place when that summer is kicking up. Yeah. So breathe. So I wanted to try to grow a strain that could be like totally impervious to it, like totally immune to humidity, like totally. It's possible. Yeah. I know it's possible. So in my efforts of finding out these things, I found out about fast flowering genetics, plants that are classified as faster flowering genetics, plants that what different colorations of plants what different colorations found in the plants do to the plant's performance in certain parts of the year, certain parts of the world, certain regions. Why do these colors produce? Why does the plant shape produce the way it produced? Everything is related to the environment the plant is in. So perfect the bishop into being something more durable. An all-purpose plant, literally, all-purpose grow. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not selling the finished product. The finished product of any plant is gonna be good to me, in my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? If you take any plant, put it in your house, grow it in the tent, and simulate the outdoors and give it what it needs, you're gonna produce a quality plant. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
I would assume.
But how does that plant grow outside? Because outside ain't no tent. Outside ain't no humidity monitors. Outside
Rain
there is
on.
no waterer to come and give it how much water it needs. There is no fans to blow it just enough. It's gonna get heavy wind. Sometimes it's gonna
Shout
get
out
heavy
O2.
rain. It's gonna get heavy temperatures. That's where your plant truly shows its vigor outside.
How it grows,
If it
the
if
insects
it
and
can be
everything.
if it can, everything, if it can be amazing outside, it's gonna be a monster
Oh,
inside.
yes, sir.
So from there, I looked into first before I got into black genetics. I found those. I looked into how to cross various autoflowers into photoperiodic genetics. That's when I started experimenting with the Jamaican landrace, the banana purple punch.
Question. Oh, I got a whole. When you get a regular seed and you cross it with an autoflower, it still keeps the auto part of that plant, the fast flower, that side of
What
the plant.
happens? What happens is
Hold on, Mr. Frost.
what happens. All right. So what happens is when you take a regular seed, or even if you feminize a female and cross it into an autoflower, when you take that photo period and that autoflower and cross them together, they genetics meet in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So
Okay.
the F1 variety, and I was telling Frost this, the F1 variety of this genetic
Shout out
is
front. I'm
now
gonna follow you back, bro.
it's still a photoperiodic seed, but the flowering time of that plant has become significantly shorter. Also, the ruderalis compound, which creates the autoflowering genetic, has added resilience to the plant's ability. Why?
Right.
Because the ruderalis genetic is produced from plants in parts of the world that is not suitable to normal cannabis growth. If you look at where our natural autoflowers come from, ruderalis strands, places like Russia, Serbia, Alaska, North Pole, South Pole. You get what I'm saying?
Weed would grow in the South Pole. I mean North Pole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Frost said,
Is
hold
it?
on. I'm sorry. Continue. Mr. Frost asked you, are you focused on just autos? Don't lose your train of thought on that. Because are you focused on just autos or autos and fast flowering photos? Jesus.
All right. So yes, we're gonna get there.
I don't know what the
So
hell that means.
the ruderalis genetic is created in parts of the world that is not suitable to cannabis growth. Cannabis is typically a tropical type of plant.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if you put this plant somewhere that's not tropical, over time,
Right.
over time is going to
I
adapt
would think
to this not so
it
tropical
died.
place.
I would think it died.
No, it's going to adapt.
That's powerful.
It's going to adapt. So what happens is,
Are any of these? Hold on, Skunk.
are any of these plants harming on? No, harming. No, no,
No.
no. And Herms, and just off a sidebar, Herms is just more so dependent on if you breed with a plant that had high Herm genetics in it. So like if you that's why when breeding, you want to make sure you put your plants through a number of various, testing, stress testing, experiments to find if it is prone to herming under stress so that you don't breed with plants that could herm. But back to, all right, so when you find and you go in these parts of the world where it's snow on the ground, the sun stays up for 7 months or 8 months at a time, and you're wondering how the cannabis grows, is because the cannabis has produced the ruderalis genetic over time, and now it is considered auto flowering. You know what I'm saying? The auto flower has allowed it to stand the cold, the ice, the long sun days. Because in Alaska, they get sun 6 months out of the year, 7 months out of the year, and then dark for another 4 months out of the year, 5 months out of the year.
How's a plant growing in that? But they have trees and shit out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. That's because these plants adapt over time, and that's what makes them a landrace. So in my efforts to produce a quality plant that can pretty much survive in all areas, I started looking into photoperiodic crossing with autoflowering genetics. Now, to answer Frost's question, yes, I am mainly focused on autoflowering and faster flowering genetics. Why? Because if you don't live in Florida or California, you do not live in a place quality enough to grow long flowering strands. And here's why. There's science behind it. The sun, when the sun rotates on the earth, or when the earth rotates on its axis and moves to certain parts of its rotation around the sun during a year, that's what shifts our light schedule, right?
Yes.
That's why we get longer light during the summer. That's why we get shorter light during the winter. For the average person, wherever you live, if you don't live on a part of the earth that is, you know what I'm saying, longer summers year round, like in California, who get long summers year round, places closer to the equator, like Florida, who get long summers year round, you know what I'm saying, or long heat year round, your flowering schedule is somewhere from the end of July up till about November. That's your flowering schedule. Your vegetative and your growing season is anywhere from about April into March-ish, April-ish, going up into July. You get what I'm saying? So,
damn.
When you just look at the flowering schedule, on average, most plants flower about 9 to 12 weeks, depending on the variety. 8 to 12 weeks or so. If your plant don't even show you the sex up until about mid-August, and you still got to go through hurricane season in September, you still got to go through. You still got to go. You get what I'm saying? Now let's go through what the year goes through. You don't see sex until about mid-August. Growing outdoors, you don't see sex till about mid-August. You got the rest of the summer to go through, and it's hot on your flowering plant where it's supposed to be cooler.
Baking. Bishop.
Now
they're timing us out. Bishop, they're timing us out. 24 seconds. I'm not. They just do this shit to my page. But we got to fall out. Every time I go, you hands free. Watch them just turn me off. Shout out, Bishop. Plug yourself in. Tell them where they can find you.
Hey, Astro Bishop, you know what I'm saying? Find me. If you're all on Fastbuzz Genetics, use code Bishop to get 15% off on your last order. I'm glad to be here with the Canna Brothers Podcast. I can't wait to be back with y'all.
I turn on my music and sway to the beat. That sweet Mary Jane tells me I don't need a repeat.
No phone, I'm in my zone, I like to smoke alone. Talking O's, Lord knows I'm blowed, RSO, I'm gone. Big dabs, I